Today I'm going to show you how to enter a time card from a My Open Phases query on your work desk. And for this example today, I'm using maintenance support work order, and we'll use Ashley Mayfield as our example. So go ahead and navigate to your My Open Phases on your work desk. Your work desk won't have quite as many queries as mine, and also notice that this is test. Production doesn't have a yellow bar at the top, so I am showing you this in our test instance. So select My Open Phases. You'll notice that a list of work order phases comes up that you will have been assigned. You can go ahead and click on one of those phases. So let's say that you spent some time in AiM today. So you'll go ahead and click on Phase 1. Over under the action menu, there is the time card. So click on the time card. You'll want to enter the work date. So I'm going to pretend that this was last Wednesday. And we're using Ashley as an example, so I'm going to type in her duck ID because the system will find her. You'll notice how that defaulted. It also defaulted that she's a regular trade, but if she was working overtime, you'd want to go in here and switch it to overtime. But for today's example, we'll just let it default to regular time. The work order and phase defaulted that I launched the time card from, so that's kind of helpful. And over here is where you would enter the hours. We are not using the action taken yet or the start or stop time. Those will probably be options that come with our mobile device. So go ahead and enter the hours that you spent on AiM. So we'll say 6. This is where Ashley could enter a time card note for her supervisor. She might want to do that because as a trade worker, in this example, it wouldn't be normal or typical of her to use this much admin time. So she might want to put what she was doing. So that would be good to let her supervisor know that she was training a new employee on time card entry and ordering. Here's where she could enter a phase note. She could add a little extra details. Worked with the new student worker today and X out. You'll notice though that it only came to 6 hours. So we need to go back in here and add some more time. So we might want to add a meeting. Most shops have meetings. And we can put that the meeting was a half an hour. So let's go ahead and enter 0.5. Sometimes the highlight has a problem, so you can always just back out. I'll go ahead and add that and see how it says shop list meetings. We're still only at 6.5 hours, so we'll want to go in here and we can add our breaks. And breaks are half an hour, so I can just let that stay there. So now we're at 7 hours. So we still have to add 1 more hour to total 8. So let's pretend that Ashley had a doctor's appointment. You could use your sick phase. Your sick phase here is typically phase 13. And we can add 1 hour. Again, these are notes that your supervisor sees. These don't feed back to the work order. These are what would feed back to the work order, so you wouldn't necessarily want to put personal details in these notes, the phase note, but it could be beneficial to let your supervisor know why you use these phases. So now that we've totaled 8 hours, we're going to hit save, and you'll notice that it gave it a transaction number. So if I click on that transaction number, you can see that this is time card 31324. That's the entry. It's for Ashley, the work date, the amount of hours, and then the various activities that she did for the day. And that's how you enter a time card from a phase.